sure there's particularly that many matchups out there where it's bad, but a little different take. I mean, he's got 2 copies of Hypnotic Siren, which again is a card that I think people kind of talked about a lot when it first was hit the scene with Born of the Gods. But he also has 2 copies of Hall of Triumph to kind of give his army a little boost. Hall of Triumph, a new artifact from Born of the Gods. You name a color, and then all creatures of that color gain +1/+1. So if you go Hall of Triumph, even if your Master of the Waves dies, your Elemental tokens will stay in play. So Hall of Triumph, interesting innovation here that I have not seen in any mono blue list. So.
I mean, all these great cards that have come out from Journey into Nyx, that's one of the few that people don't really talk about. I would say it kind of fills a slot on the curve. It's a 3-mana spell. It is a legendary artifact, so you can't have 2 of them in play, obviously, kind of like Spirit Heliod. But, you know, between Nightveil Spectre and Thassa, they obviously have things to do for 3 mana. But the fact that, you know, if Master Waves dies and the tokens stay around, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. So it gives you basically a huge army without having to worry about like a spot removal. Like, oh, well, they have a Doomblade for my Master. It doesn't really matter anymore. So it gives you a little bit more resiliency against a deck like Mono Black Devotion.
Yeah, the thing about Mono Blue is there's just not a lot of innovation to take place with the deck. I mean, they're not really going to get a lot of new cards to be able to facilitate their game plan since they're such a devotion-based strategy. See if he's able to evolve this. There is a Frostburn Weird, so Cloud from Raptor will turn into a 1/2. Now, this is the thing that makes Mono Blue really scary, is that if it just gets these curve out draws, you know, maybe a Thassa next turn, something to do the following turn like that, then the deck feels like it's basically unbeatable.
Yeah, even a Hall of Triumph would be, you know,
yeah,
pretty
that'd be fine. See a Sylvan Carriage come down here for Habel before passing the turn back. And there's 3 mana tapped really fast. There's Hall of Triumph. You mentioned it.
Naming blue in all likelihood, he's going to attack just with a Raptor, because Frostburn Weird would just be a 2-power, so Sylvan Carriage can just block it.
We could see the Master of Waves thing take place in the next turn, where even if Habel was able to kill it somehow, it wouldn't actually matter. Now, of course, in the green-red deck, it's a little bit more difficult to do. Here's a Courser of Crufix. Top card can be revealed. It's a Stomping Ground. Habel going to play that right away. Going to gain 2. And, excuse me, gain 1, not take any damage, and then just pass the turn back. Guido going to draw his card for the turn.
So yeah, now he can attack with both creatures. The Crufix can choose to block the Weird, but Matt can pump it up and kill the Crufix, so.
There's a Judge's Familiar.
I don't think it evolves,
Evolution will not take place because of the Hall. This is a 2/3 right now, yeah. So we'll just stay on 1. Raptor's a 2/3 right now. Judge's Familiar's a 2/2 when it comes to play, so no evolution. That might be a little too good.
So yeah, Matt's going to attack with both creatures here. Currently, they're 2-power each because of the Hall.
And here's some pumps, as Courser does not have any interest in blocking at this point, so some damage will come across here. The only thing here for Guido is that he just hasn't found one of his awesome cards to cast, which is Thassa or Master of Waves. So
yeah,
once he finds that,
if you can get a Thassa, that's usually going to close things out pretty quickly.
Habel going to draw that Elvish Mystic. A little Chronos on top of the deck. Does have a land to play. You see the forest that he's about to drop down.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good hand. He's got Mizzium Mortars and Domri.
Of course, you're going to come into the red zone here. Not going to do any blocking, that's for sure. Now he's going to cast Gorecline Rampage.
So yeah,
Blood Rush that.
Looks like he's going to Blood Rush here, hit him for 6, and now cast Domri, and then fight the Frostburn Weird.
Yeah, it's time to do battle. I think he's figure out exactly what he wants to kill, because like there's an argument for killing the Flyers because your deck is kind of bad against Flyers, but I think because that's providing the most devotion and can attack for the most damage, it's probably the most appealing target. So a pretty good turn there for Jonathon.
I also think he's pretty close to overloading Mizzium Mortars. Obviously, Matt has a Judge's Familiar, which can counter it for 1, but I think we know he has an Elvish Mystic in his hand, so if he has 1 more land with a Courser in play, he can overload and kill Matt's entire army.
Domri's going to bite the dust. Raptor's going to come across to Jonathon. Follow play is going to be a Hypnotic Siren. Just pass the turn back.
Yeah, so 3 2-power Flyers in play right now. Jonathon is at 10.
Top card is Stormbreath Dragon. That one doesn't change too much. As you mentioned, Habel does have a land in his hand, but Judge's Familiar is kind of messing things up right now, as he would love to overload Mizzium Mortars, but he just can't. So there is a land. Gonna gain a life. Gonna tap some mana here. That's a Domri. It's time to fight something again. Going to fight Judges from there. This is like a rapid hybridization here, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's pretty big.
So that's a big one there. Not only does he lose his Courser, but the Judge's Familiar will stick around, so he's still going to have 2 power of flying.
Now there's your Elvish Mystic. But he's still okay.
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as the Mizzy Mortars plan is concerned.
Still fine. He still has a Mizzy Mortars plan. Matt now decides, now he has to figure out, does he want to go after the Domri, or do I want to just go after his Life Doll? He did kill the Domri last turn.
It's kind of funny. We always kind of make fun of Judges Familiar just because it doesn't really ever provide that much. It's just kind of a 1/1 flyer. It helps with devotion a little bit, but you know, it's not one of the hallmark cards of this deck, but it's actually caused quite a few problems this game with the plan of overloading Mizzy Mortars.
Ooh, it looks like Matt does have a Master of the Ways in his hand, but no 4th mana.
See if Jonathon wants to cast this Mizzy Mortars with Overload right now, and he will. The reason that he might want to consider not doing it simply because Syncopate is a card that we have seen in these decks before. They don't play a lot of counter Magic, but Sam Black was a big fan of Syncopate, especially at the Season 1 Invitational in Charlotte. You see Guido is going to activate the Judge's Familiar. Habel's going to pay the one with the Sylvan Caryatid. The creatures are going to die for Matt, and now he's going to come across with that 3/3 Frog Lizard token. So things are certainly going Jonathon's way now. Guido going to draw a card here. Just wasn't able to find the 4th land on time for the Master.
Yeah, I think he might have drawn it this turn. Unfortunately, if the Master comes down, it's just going to produce 1 Elemental token.
Yeah, nothing exciting about that.
Granted, it will get the bonus from Hall of Triumph, but still, Jonathon has plenty of blockers for the ground, so I don't think he's that concerned with that. Yeah, let's see what Matt decides to do here.
He's slowed way down. You can tell he's in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah, and he knows there's a Stormbred Dragon coming, too.
Yep. I think he knows about the Pulachronos in Habel's hand as well.
Yeah, Stormbred Dragon, plus there's enough mana to Monstrous at the following turn, which means I'll probably die.
Going to trigger the Master, going to get a wave token. So there is your Elemental Horse. You can pass a turn back. Over to Habel, who will untap and take a draw. Again, we know about the Storm Breath and the Pulachronos there. He's going to go to the skies. Coming in, playing pretty conservatively as he's just going to attack for 4. It's a tie ball game right now. Follow this up with, looks like a Scavenging Ooze. He's going to pass the turn back. Really good draw from Jonathon this game.
Yeah, so Jonathon, pretty good draw, was able to capitalize on Matt's unfortunate mana situation. Matt just couldn't, even if he was able to evolve his Clownford Raptor once more, probably good enough.
Yeah, I think so. Cyclonic Rift in Guido's hand right now.
Yeah, let's see here. Cyclonic Rift can take out one of the blockers, but yeah, with Jonathon at 7, there's really not much else.
Yeah, when Mono Blue has to slow down like this, that's when the deck, because I mean, he got off to such a great start, but when he has to slow down like this and kind of resign to his fate to just pass the turn back and hope the opponent makes some sort of error, that's when things are really bad for the deck.
Yeah, if you're Jonathon, you probably just, looks like he's just going to attack.
Consult the hand. Say, all right, I don't have anything. Well, we know that's not the truth. But Habel's not going to make a move either. And I actually like that play a lot because he has no reason to make a move.
Yeah.
I like that he's taken time to play conservatively and then play aggressively. Here's some mana. There's a Pulachronos. So the hand is empty. The top card of the deck is Sylvan Caryatid. And Habel can just say, all right, pass the turn back. Best of luck killing me. Pretty confidently. And that top card's not going to get the job done. So Jonathon Habel's going to win game number 1 here over Matt Guido. Jund Monsters up again over Mono Blue Devotion. This deck just keeps right on winning, Osip.
Jund Monsters, we've been seeing it all day today, whether it's in the hands of CVM or Jonathon Habel. I mean, it's been doing pretty well today. I think CVM was undefeated too.
Yeah, he's undefeated coming into this round, sitting at 4-0. Not sure the result of his match just yet, but if we do find out, we'll let you guys know. Well, we're going to turn our attention towards sideboards here. You've got Mono Blue Devotion in front of you for Matt. What can he do to turn things around?
Well, he's got 1 copy of Hour of Need. That is an interesting Born of the God card. I don't think we've really seen that very often.
I promise we haven't.
Yeah. Hour of Need is, I guess, an option for him, but I'm not really sure. Dissolve, I kind of like Dissolve because you need to be able to counter those high-end spells. Obviously, Overload Mizzy Mortars would issue this game, along with the Cyclonic Rift. I actually think you need the Domestication, too, just because Courser of Crufix can be such an issue.
Okay.
Getting to steal a Courser, you might just want to bring in Domestication just for that. But beyond that, there's really not much else you want in this matchup. Biden Athasa is okay, but I think you probably just want maybe a couple copies of Domestication, the Rift in order to deal with any monstrous triggers, and then probably the Dissolves to counter some of their higher end spells.
Biden is such an interesting card to me in this matchup, just because, you know, when Biden's good, it's completely busted.
Yep.
Like, I think Biden's, assuming that he got like the 4 land, I think it would have generated such an advantage that game that it would have, Jonathon probably would never even come back. Or like, even if Matt got mortars, he would be able to redeploy.
Yeah.
Because of the cards that Biden drew. But there will also be games where Biden is just completely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you oftentimes see it as just a 1 of or an additional one in the sideboard, stuff like that. On the other side of things, you've got additional Mizium Mortars here for Habel to go along with the 1 in his main deck. Ah, those fun ofs. A Doomblade, a Vraska, 2 Golgari Charms, 2 Putrefy, 2 Rakdos Return, 3 copies of Nalia's Disciple, and 3 Mistcutter Hydra. Again, very, very close to what Chris Van Meter has been winning with. 3 Mistcutters are pretty obvious at this point. The rest is a little bit interesting. I think you want additional mortars. I think that you probably want a Doomblade so you can take care of Master. 2 copies of Golgari Charm can take care of Master and the tokens, assuming that there is no a Hall of Triumph in play. Putrefy can just kill a creature and kill Master and stuff. The big thing here, I mean, all of these cards seem like they're pretty good, but you're overloading pretty heavily on removal.
Well,
and is that what you want to do?
I think Xenagos the Reveler is probably pretty weak in this matchup. I also don't love Gorklan Rampager. I don't think you necessarily need it in this matchup. So I think if I could just swap out my Rampagers for Hydras, I'd be happy. And then Xenagos the Reveler, you're basically saying, okay, well, maybe a Doomblade and a Charm, maybe another Mortars, maybe just split hedge some of my removal that way. But
do you like Dreadbore or Abrupt Decay?
I don't love. I think Abrupt Decay is fine. But yeah, I mean, I think you just having ways to kill Master of the Waves is probably what you want more than anything else. Just because you don't want to randomly lose to that card. Like the nut draw where they go 2 drops, Nightveil Spectre, Master of the Waves.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of like the Doomblade. Abrupt Decay really doesn't help there, neither does Dreadbore. But Golgari Charm helps out a lot.
Sure.
So Golgari Charm and Doomblade are probably the 3 cards I'd want most of.
You see behind Matt Guido is Robert Cucinato. We have seen him in the elimination rounds playing Reanimator in Legacy tournaments quite a bit. Also had a really, really nice Modern Grand Prix a couple weeks ago. Got 16th place there.
So nice.
He's been doing well on both series. And it looks like Matt is not happy with his hand. And Jonathon going to consult, see if he likes what he sees. And it looks like it's good enough. Doesn't look all that excited about it, but it looks like he's happy enough to keep here.
He's got Domri, Mistcutter. It's a little slow. Can get tempoed out. He does have a Golgari Charm, I think, but I think if he's like, man, if I could just get 1 mana ramp creature in there, I'd be okay.
Well, both these players do sideboard up. We definitely want to turn our attention to the brand new line in our Squirrel series, my friend. It is Acorn Mystic. This could be a playoff of anything.
Oof.
Don't want to give it away.
What could it be? What could it be?
Tell us at home. What could this be a playoff of? Another one of our Squirrel series collections for our creature collection. You see the playmat, the dice bag, the sleeves, the deck box, and of course Acorn Mystic tokens. You get 2 whenever you do join a Legacy Open. Available starting June 13th. And all of our opens, you can buy them on the StarCityGames.com store as well. So definitely check those out. They've been a big hit. That's why we keep making them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this take on Stoneforge Mystic. I gave it away, sorry.
Why buy a Brian Kibler playmat when you can get an Acorn Mystic playmat?
There you go. Brian's people are going to talk to you about that now.
His people.
Yep.
His people.
They don't like you. They don't like you bad talking Kibler. And I don't begin. No 1-drop here from Matt. Just a blood grip here for Jonathon.
So let's see if Matt has at least a 2-drop. If he doesn't have a 2-drop,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. I'm sure he doesn't want to play Tidebinder Mage right now, but okay, he's got something to do. He's got a Cloudfin Raptor. A little off-curve Cloudfin Raptor, but...
Yeah, Jonathon in pretty good shape here. It looks like he drew a 2-drop last turn in Scavenging Ooze, and he also has a Domri in hand too, so he could theoretically fight that Cloudfin Raptor the following turn. And that's really all you want to do. If you're Dread Monsters, you want to just kill as many flyers. Even if you're going to lose your Domri, you don't care. Like you saw that in Game 1. Jonathon would just wanted to expend resources to kill as many creatures as he could.
Yeah, just keep their stuff off the board. Keep their devotion count low. Keep the flyers off the table too. That's really important. There's Nylon. That may have been a big draw. Here's some mana. There's a Tidebinder. All right, and an Evolution. This is a good turn. And for 1, Habel's going to go down to 19.
So Jonathon here could still fight that Cloudfin Raptor. Obviously, the ooze will stay tapped, but
There's a Mutavault. This is the Miziamore. Just take care of the Tidebinder Mage.
all right. So I like that play. He's able to get that creature off the board. He's going to go to. He's at 19 right now. He can gain that life back through the Tidebinder Mage with the Scavenging Ooze, rather.
Yeah, Elvish Mystic too. This is a good turn. Good turns from each side. See if Guido can keep up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. He's got to face Scavenging Ooze, plus he's got to deal with the Miscut or Hydra potentially next turn if Jonathon decides to splash it.
Nykthos comes down. That's a one of. It's not looking great right now. There's just an attack with the Mutavault along with the Raptor.
He does have that Cyclonic Rift, so if he can get some Devotion count going, it could be pretty devastating. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the cards in play.
Abrupt Decay was picked up for Jonathon this turn.
Wow, so Jonathon drawing basically having a really good draw this game. He has the removal he needs. He has early threats. He even has a Planeswalker.
He's got to pull a Chronos as well. And now here's an attack with Scavenging Ooze. A really, really good draw here for Jonathon.
If I wonder if Matt has a Rapid Hybridization.
I would Rapid Hybrid that Mutavault so fast.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Oh, looks like he's just gonna bounce.
Okay.
I would have cast Rapid Hybridization on my Raptor just to block the Ooze.
If he has one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has one though. So, let's see, Matt just with 2 cards left. Wow, so this is a really tough spot for him. Pretty unfortunate mulligan here. Just didn't have a lot of action.
He's got a spell to cast. It's a Tidebinder Mage to shut down the Ooze. Gonna evolve the Raptor into a 2/3. A little bit of Devotion count as well. Now in comes the Mutavault with an attack for 4. Habel's gonna go down to 12. But the doors are wide open here. Take a draw, will Jonathon. Not drawing any lands right now. Picked up a Courser. Could play Courser, try to find another land drop.
Yeah, it's a little risky. I mean, he has a Abrupt Decay to kill the Cloudfin Raptor. He could also kill the Tideminder Mage if he wants to get his Ooze untapped again. And he still obviously has that Palakranos in his hand. I think casting Courser is probably the riskiest of the play. Obviously, it has pretty good reward if you can get a land, but there's no guarantee that land will even come into play untapped.
Yeah.
Could be a Scry land. So I think if you're Jonathon, you probably want to cast Palakranos.
I was gonna say, has anything really changed to make you not want to cast that?
No, not really. I mean, you're at 12 now. Oh, looks like you drew Putrefy as well. Interesting.
I think that's just, I truly think that's just an effort just to keep Devotion off the table, while also giving you the ability to, 1, untap your Ooze, but 2, to activate your Ooze with the Elvish Mystic.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see a reason to play that.
Yeah, so he's maximizing his mana. He's going to use, he wanted to use a removal spell, so then he just maximized mana instead of Abrupt Decay.
And the following turn, he could, also, because his Ooze will be a 3/3, he could play Domri and then fight the Cloudfin Raptor and win that fight too. So that's actually a pretty good turn.
So Jonathon's just going to attack for 4 again, dropping, Matt's going to attack for 4. And here comes Nightveil Spectre.
It's time to gain a life. Remove the Tidebinder Mage via Scavenging Ooze. Jonathon's going to go up to 9.
Land here would be huge, a red land in particular. Or Overgrown Tomb would work. Now you can cast Abrupt Decay on the Raptor and fight the Nightveil Spectre.
Yeah, that's a good turn.
And he can leave the Ooze back to block any Mutavaults in order to protect his Domri. So let's see what he decides to do here.
Starts by taking 2. Going to go down to 7. I think he's going to find the same line that you did. Domri's going to come. That's going to do battle on the Nightveil Spectre. See if he wants to Abrupt Decay now or later.
Yeah, I kind of like just casting Abrupt Decay because you're going to cast it. Why give him? Well, I mean, I guess you could respond to a Master of the Waves anyway. Yeah. So, or actually, I would cast it just because of Rapid Hybridization.
Sure, don't let him have a 3/3.
Don't let him have a 3/3. Sure. Like, there's no chance Jonathon's going to take 2 here, or at least I wouldn't expect him to.
Yeah, there's Decay. I guess the other argument here to be made is how much even, like, if he's Rapid Hybridization your guy, how much do you even care? Like, if he's like, okay, I'll Rapid Hybridization my Cloudfin Raptor. Okay, fine. I'm a green deck. I can definitely beat a 3/3 on the ground.
But why even give him the option?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
He will Rapid, so he'll turn the Cloudfin Raptor into a 3/3 Frog Lizard. Oh, another way to look at it, too, is that it's rapid hybridization that's not happening on your Pool of Chronos or your Stormbreath Dragon.
That's true.
So,
yeah, maybe Jonathon just wanted to get the information.
Now there's Cloudfin Raptor and just has to pass the turn back. So Guido's out of cards. And he's going to be in a world of hurt here.
Wow. Another Domri, so he can actually uptick his Domri in play, and then cast a second Domri if he wants to fight. Yeah, he could actually pump up his Ooze again and then fight the Beast.
Top card is not a creature, so that'll stay put. Could drop down a Mist Cutter here. Could play Pool of Chronos. A lot of options here for the St. Louis Standard Open champion earlier this year. Really, really comfortable playing these green decks. They come into the red zone here. Looks like with Scavenging Ooze. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think it's fine to be a little conservative here. Just cast Pool of Chronos and then pass. Really no reason to expose yourself to taking some unnecessary damage because of a top deck rapid Cyclonic Rift or something like that. But so yeah, it looks like he's just gonna attack and activate Scavenging Ooze, gaining a life, going up to 8. Now he's gonna attack for 4.
Yeah, I think the goal here, if you're Jonathon, is you've got this game pretty well in hand. Mono Blue just has a pretty small range of cards in their deck to get themselves out of a situation like this. Just make sure you don't lose any of them.
Yeah, because Tidebinder Mage here is huge because it evolves a Raptor, taps the blocker, and you can activate Mutavault attack for 6, dropping you to 2. So that's why I was a little concerned with attacking there, especially because you have a Mistcutter in your hand, you know. But thankfully, Jonathon dodged anything like that, so he's able to untap, stay at 8. And now, again, he can activate Scavenging Ooze to gain a little bit more life.
Looked like Putrefy was the draw here for Jonathon this turn, too. Again, he's not yet in 2 spell per turn territory. He's getting close as he's going to come in with the Ooze and the Pool of Chronos. Still waiting on that Mistcutter Hydra. Mistcutter actually not that great in this situation just because of the Frog Lizard being green as well as Mutavault being colorless. So it is big and it forces the action of blocking. Cloudfin Raptor looks like it's going to get in front of the World Eater. Now Habel deciding if he wants to do anything else as far as activating the Scavenging Ooze is concerned.
Yeah, if I was Jonathon, like, what do you have to do anything for? I mean, other than activate Ooze.
Yeah, it's going to be an activation here of Oozes. Gain some life. Try to deal some more damage that way. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you as well. He doesn't have to make a move. The Pool of Chronos is going to eat that thing.
I'd probably fight the Beast token here.
Get it out of the way.
I mean, you don't really care about Domri at this point.
That's, you see him flick the die across. That's what he's going to do. So Pool of Chronos is going to take that down. Just pass the turn back. With green mana available to activate Ooze, Mutavault be able to block. And an extension of the hand. Jonathon Habel going to win this match over Matt Guido. 2-0. Star City Games St. Louis Standard Open champion is off to another beautiful start this weekend. 5-0 with Jund Monsters.
You know, unfortunately for Matt, I think he had to mulligan that